My name is Tom Horn. I'm Vice President of the Board of Trustees of the War Memorial and had the great honor to chair the Trustees Oversight Committee for this great project. And I'd like to welcome everyone here to the rededication of the War Memorial Veterans Building. Please stand as we bring on the color guard and remain standing for the singing of the national anthem. For the singing of our national anthem, it is a great privilege to welcome a local favorite, renowned mezzo-soprano Stephanie Blythe, currently singing the role of Mrs. Lovett in San Francisco Opera's production of Sweeney Todd. Thank you, Ms. Blythe. Today's rededication, please be seated. Today's rededication marks the culmination of many years of effort to bring the War Memorial Veterans Building back to its full Beaux-Arts beauty. The Veterans Building is architecturally significant as a quintet of Civic Center buildings designed by Arthur Brown Jr. and is of singular historic importance as on this very stage, the United Nations Charter was signed by President Truman in 1945. And in 1951, the Japanese Peace Treaty was drawn up in the Veterans Building. Today, at the conclusion of the 26-month Veterans Building Seismic Upgrade and Improvements Project, we have restored and improved this great building for many future generations of San Franciscans. This Veterans Building has always been a place of great meaning to San Francisco veterans, after whom the building was named. Let us take a moment to recognize the veterans in attendance today. Would everyone who has served in the armed forces of the United States please stand and be recognized? Thank you. I'm pleased to have so many members of San Francisco's city family present today. This is a municipal building. It's unusual in Performing Arts Center to have a Performing Arts Center complex that's actually owned by a city, and San Francisco is unique in that regard. I'm going to name a number of our family members who are here who may have a speaking role a little later on, but I certainly want to recognize Mayor Ed Lee, President of the Board of Supervisors, the esteemed President London Breed, former Mayor Willie Brown, State Senator Mark Leno. I saw Assessor Recorder Carmen Chu. With these lights, I can't see everybody, so I hope I don't miss anyone. I'd like to acknowledge the Board of Trustees of the War Memorial, who bear responsibility for the maintenance and administration of these buildings. We have among us City Administrator Naomi Kelly and other elected and appointed officials. I want to single out for special recognition the War Memorial Managing Director, Elizabeth Murray. She has been the heart of this project and its vision for nearly 20 years. I want to recognize San Francisco Public Works City Architect Edgar Lopez, and also San Francisco Arts Commission Director Tom DeCaney. I also want to single out for special recognition Public Works Veterans Building Project Manager Tara Lamont. If Beth was the heart of this project, Tara was its soul. I also like to acknowledge project architects Andrew Maloney and Patty Salas. A project of this scope does not get accomplished without the help and effort of many additional partners, and I would like to recognize a number of them. On behalf of the San Francisco Posts of the American Legion, a War Memorial Trust beneficiary, Nelson Lum, Commander of the American Legion 8th District, and Paul Cox, Chair of the American Legion War Memorial Commission. Also, lead project engineer Ron Hamburger of Simpson, Gumpertz, and Hager, as well as project executive Brett Firebaugh and project superintendent Lee Jones of our general contractor, Pankow Builders. Again, for particular acknowledgement and thanks, and I'm so grateful that it appears that most of the board is here, is the Herbst Foundation Board of Directors. It was the Herbst Foundation in 1977 that made the initial conversion from a non-theater auditorium into what was to become the Herbst Foundation, or the Herbst Theater. And it was the Herbst Foundation, again, this go-round, that stepped up to the plate with a major grant to fund new and upgraded backstage facilities for the Herbst Theater. And I hope when the tours begin after this ceremony that everyone will take advantage of seeing the new facilities that will be available to all of the arts and groups that utilize this building. Another important partner I want to recognize, San Francisco Opera General Director David Gockley. And finally, I'd like to acknowledge and thank the Herbst Theater Acoustics Advisory Committee, led by the indomitable Peter Pastreich, which provided the creative thinking and the funding for a new stage acoustical shell that will be up here for musical performances and will make the acoustics in this hall so much improved over what they have been. Our first speaker is not only the mayor of the city and county of San Francisco, but an integral part of the development and accomplishment of this Veterans Building renovation. When the voters approved funding to repair damaged city buildings following the 1989 earthquake, provisions were made for this project. City Hall was to be first, and while it was closed down, City Hall offices, including the mayor and the Board of Supervisors, were relocated into the Veterans Building. As the City Hall renovation progressed, it became apparent that the voters had not had quite as grand a vision for City Hall as Mayor Willie Brown did. And they ran out of money. So the funds allocated for the Veterans Building were reallocated to finish City Hall. Now, promises were made to make up the funding loss, but nothing happened for many years. But the city administrator at the time, who was also the chair of the city's Capital Improvement Committee, and not a household name outside of the city family, but a dedicated civil servant named Ed Lee, who very much appreciated the historic and architectural significance of all of these civic center buildings. And it was Ed Lee who really kept this project on track during the lean years of the recession, and he has been its champion as mayor. It's my great honor to introduce the mayor of the city and county of San Francisco, Edwin M. Lee.
Thank you, Tom, for that wonderful introduction. Well, let me be very truthful. First of all, isn't this a beautiful building, everyone? Welcome. It's just gorgeous to be in here. And truth be told, why I have such a passion for this building, because years ago, when my daughters were in high school, public high school, they started their own acting and writing organization. It was called Youth for Asian Theater, YFAT. And they searched around the entire city looking for space so that the plays that they wrote could be acted out. And lo and behold, they came to Herbst Theater here, and they did it. And there was standing room only for their plays. You could see all the parents from Lowell High School just standing in the crowds, and all of a sudden their heads started turning. And they started realizing how beautiful of this place. They couldn't understand how such a beautiful place could be made available to high school students to use as they wrote and wanted to do their plays. And of course, in those moments, we got to tell them about what this place was all about. And hundreds, if not thousands, of parents and kids learned of the situs, of the signing of the United Nations Charter, of the Japan Peace Treaty, of the history of events that occurred here. And of course, I got to tell them, and this is where I worked for Mayor Willie Brown when there was a temporary City Hall. And the thousands of people that used the green room, and all of the meetings that the veterans held here, and the practice sessions with this and that group. And everybody came to realize this was a very special place, so that when we did announce that we were going to make sure this building that hosts thousands and thousands of kids every year for a variety of reasons would be the home of our Arts Commission, our grants for the arts, and of course our performing arts, and still be made available to the people who want to have a world-class, beautiful place that's got Willie gold trimming. And you should see the green room. That is green and gold. You would be so proud of that when we walk in there. That I just take this opportunity to thank the Board of Trustees, to thank the incredible infusion of private dollars that the board has made so confidently open to the private sector to participate. And I'm going to join in Tom's accolades to our department heads, Elizabeth and to Tara. I'm proud of Public Works because I spent many years there, and when they get to do a world-class building, do they put their best foot forward. And I am proud of the entire team because they worked with sensitive construction company. In fact, every one of those construction workers were not construction workers. They're artists in this building. Artists. And I say that in the highest celebration of our Beaux Arts building, but our appreciation for arts. But I also say it in combination of our city and our country's dedication to our veterans and our ongoing theme of education and performing arts that the city continues to be. I am proud of what they've done here in so many ways. The restoration of a very important building. But more importantly, I say this to you, I'm proud of the city of San Francisco because it's the people that cause the events to be had and to make history in these buildings, performances at the highest level, and to look at each other and say, we will help you do better. It is an occasion in which I will continue to be unbashful in announcing that we will end chronic homelessness for our veterans by the end of this year. I promise you that because that's what you deserve. Our veterans have a place. This beautiful, restored, seismically safe building is now complemented by a most well designed and beautiful memorial next door. And thanks to the Schultzes, Charlotte and George, that you honor us here again because we all want to make sure that the history and the purpose of this building remains, that its history is secure for generations to learn, but that we also have a present use that is invaluable to the city of all of the agencies that will be here, and that we continue to have a beautifully designed, a wonderful place for people to use for generations to come. I am more than happy about our capital planning and the people that are associated, but when we all work together and we all selflessly do our part and do better than the standard bureaucrats that government sometimes has, and we are allowed to get well beyond those bureaucracies into working with the artists that have been here, you can accomplish even more. And by the way, every possible goal on this project was exceeded, including the use of local businesses that had 18%, and they were at 33% by the end. Local talent, local people who love this building have been the great piece of rebuilding it to the standard in which we're all proud. So I say thank you to everyone who was a part of this. Let's celebrate by utilizing these buildings and sharing the stories and the creativity that is yet to come. And I am so excited to cut this ribbon. Congratulations, everyone.
Thank you for your comments. Our next speaker is the President of the Board of Supervisors, London Breed, who happens also to be the supervisor for District 5, in which the War Memorial Complex resides. She has been a supporter of this project since its inception, as she recognizes the importance of this building, the people's building, to providing an affordable venue for small and neighborhood arts groups to perform and meet. Please welcome Board President London Breed.
Good morning, everybody. San Francisco is the most beautiful city in the world. I will argue that point with anyone. People come here from far and wide because of our cityscape, because of the Golden Gate Bridge, because of the Crooked Road or the Painted Ladies in Alamo Square. And now, with the completion of this amazing facility in the Civic Center area, they will come here to visit our City Hall, our PUC building, one of the greenest buildings in the city, the ballet, the opera, the symphony, Bill Graham, the library, the Asian Art Museum. We have one of the most amazing civic centers, and now with the completion of this building, it is going to make this area even more beautiful. I want to thank everyone who's been involved in this project, both public and private contributors to making this project work. I know that it takes hundreds of people, millions of dollars of financing to bring together a project of this nature. I was an intern when Mayor Brown was mayor, working out of this building. It was very dark, it was very gloomy, and now when you walk in the doors, it's bright. It's a brighter place, not just because of the energy efficient lighting that exists all over this building, but more importantly, because of the heart and soul of this building was built on the backs of those who fought for our country to make sure that every San Franciscan, every United States of America citizen has the right to be free and to live in peace. And I want to thank the veterans here today. I want to thank those who have served our country. And on behalf of the Board of Supervisors, on behalf of the City and County of San Francisco, I want to rededicate this building to you for the work, for the commitment that you have made with leaving your families behind and going off and fighting and doing whatever it took to keep our country safe. It means a lot to me, and we enjoy our freedom here in this country because you have put in the sacrifice, you have put in the work. This building, yes, belongs to everyone in this great city. It belongs to the artists. It belongs to the kids in our public high schools and our high schools all over San Francisco, but more important, it's dedicated to you. And I can't wait to come and visit this place and see one of the amazing plays. I can't wait until the Arts Commission and Grants for the Arts and other individuals move in here and really fill this building with the spirit of love, with the spirit of happiness, with the spirit of what San Francisco has to offer. So thank you, and I'm looking forward to seeing what else they've done all over this facility. Welcome to your new War Memorial Building. Thank you.
Thank you. The public board charged with administering the entire cultural complex is the War Memorial Board of Trustees. We've had two presidents to lead this project over the last 4 years, both of whom have done exemplary work. Our next speaker is the current president of the board, Wilkes Bashford. Wilkes not only led the board through the completion phase of this renovation, but was instrumental in promoting, raising the funding from private sources, and implementing the design and creation of the Veterans Memorial Monument located in the Memorial Court adjacent to this building, an original plan for this complex, but never accomplished until recently due to lack of funds. Please welcome the President of the Board of Trustees of the War Memorial, Wilkes Bashford.
Well, this is really a very exciting day. I mean, I don't know if everybody realizes the importance of this particular day, but the War Memorial Board of Trustees has been working on this project for 10 years in order to bring it to today. And there were certainly times where We didn't know if it was really going to reach this completion, but here we are. And I think it's very important there are 8 members of the War Memorial Board of Trustees here in the first row. There are 3 of us up here. I'd like the members sitting in the first row to stand up. Yeah. And as has been said with the prior speakers, this Civic Center is an amazing place to visit. You can travel all over the world, and then you come back and see our Civic Center. And I think really after the quake, the beginning of the resurgence of a Civic Center and bringing it back to its full luster certainly has to go to former Mayor Willie Brown, who somehow found the funds to gild that. He's disappeared. To gild it, and that started the whole process of what we are celebrating today, and we are celebrating. Okay, upon the reopening, the Veterans Building will be a truly productive and multifunctional building. It will be a multifunctional building that San Francisco can be proud of. It will house, this is what will take place in this building and what will be housed here. It will house 3 city departments: the War Memorial, the San Francisco Arts Commission, and the Grant for the Arts. 4 public assembly spaces for use by a wide variety of organizations in the city. 4 public spaces and 23,000 square feet of office and meeting room for use by veterans organization. 23,000. We are very grateful to private partners who have funded additional and important improvements to the Veterans Building to make this day possible. I'd like to thank the Herbst Corporation for Board of Directors for their $2 million grant to provide new and upgraded backstage facilities, which were much needed for the Herbst Theater. Look at the theater itself. I mean, it is a jewel. I would also like to recognize the San Francisco Opera, who has invested $21 million in private funds for the 4th floor improvements, including 2 new performance spaces that will be used by both the opera and available to other performances and activities. And our thanks to the Performing Arts Center Foundation for its grant to repaint and regild the 2nd floor green room. Wait till you see the green room. It is an absolute knockout. Today, you will be able to tour and view some of these renovated facilities in the Veterans Building spaces, but there is more to come. In January 2016, the San Francisco Arts Commission Gallery, the San Francisco Arts Commission Gallery, which is the city's municipal art gallery, will open its 3,000 square feet space where the public can view local artists. And in February 2016, the San Francisco Opera will open the new Diane B. Wilsey Center for Opera on the 4th floor. And that's going to be a terrific space. On behalf of the War Memorial Board of Trustees, I'd like to thank the mayor, the Board of Supervisors, the city's Capital Planning Committee and Office of Public Finance, the Department of Public Works, and the San Francisco Arts Commission for their support, commitment, and efforts in making all this possible. Thank you.
As a public works project, the Veterans Building Seismic Upgrade and Improvements Project was managed and executed by San Francisco's Department of Public Works, and the War Memorial is very grateful to them for their magnificent oversight of this complex project. I would like to introduce now San Francisco City Administrator Naomi Kelly.
Good morning, everyone. It's such an honor to be here today, to be here with Mayor Ed Lee, Board President London Breed, General Mike Myatt, all of the veterans who are here. I couldn't agree more with Supervisor Breed. This building is in honor of you, and I want to again thank you for everything you have done to protect our borders and to keep us safe. Yes. This building holds a special place in my heart. As you heard earlier from Board of Trustee Tom Horn, that this was the temporary city hall, and this was where I was first hired into the city and county of San Francisco working for former Mayor Willie Brown. This is the place where I first met then city purchaser Ed Lee. This is where I first met then intern London Breed. This is where I first met then junior architect Edgar Lopez. And this is the first place in this building where I met my future husband, who is now my husband, Harlan Kelly. This building holds a special place because as I chair the city's 10-year capital plan, the Veterans Building is a critical achievement to the city's 10-year capital plan. As one of the capital plan's top priorities since its inception, I'm happy to say that the long-term and smart financial planning is allowing us to save these important city treasures such as the Veterans Building. The War Memorial Building happens to be designed by the same architect, Arthur Brown, as City Hall, and that was mentioned earlier. And this is also a special year because we just celebrated the centennial of that beautiful milestone across the street. I also happen to my office is across the street on the Van Ness side in McAllister. So for the last 2 years, I've had the honor of literally overseeing the project. And so with that, I'd like to take this opportunity to personally thank DPW Director Mohammed Nuru, who unfortunately couldn't be here today, City Architect Edgar Lopez, Tara Lamont, as I was watching you from across the street, and all of the subcontractors and contractors who worked on this building. Mayor Lee talked about how local residents worked on this building, and that 33% of those who worked on this building were local San Francisco residents. I also want to point out that 50% apprenticeship hours went to local residents, so I'm very proud of that fact. So congratulations, Edgar and team. Yes. But one of those days when every day as I was looking out, I called up Beth Murray and Edgar and asked for a personal tour, and they gave it to me about a year ago during the construction, and it was just so wonderful to see the attention to detail that they were putting into preserving this beautiful building. As London and I walked in, we looked up at the murals, and it was like, wow, that's the first time I could actually see the murals from many of meetings that we've been in here, and Edgar was saying that the care and detail they went into making sure that they would survive an earthquake and making sure they preserve the vibrant and beauty of the artwork. So again, I want to congratulate everyone who's worked on this building. I look forward to spending many meetings over here. As you heard, Grants for the Arts is moving in with their sister agency, the San Francisco Arts Commission, and we'll be spending a lot of time here coming to plays, attending meetings, and meeting and continually honoring all of our veterans. So thank you.
Without the support of our next speaker and his exceptional design and project management team, the Veterans Building project would not have achieved such a high level of success. I'd like to introduce City Architect Edgar Lopez.
Good morning, everyone. It's an honor for me to be here before all of you to acknowledge the design and construction team who made this project possible. Special thanks to Ron Hamburger, the lead structural engineer with Simpson, Gumpertz, and Hager, who led the design team of 16 consultants to achieve what you see today. From Public Works, I also want to thank especially Tara Lamont, who was the project manager who provided the leadership in guiding the project. And also special thanks to Andy Maloney, who was the lead architect who led the design, all of the architects who worked on the project. They spent endless hours thinking about the details, about the complexity of the project, and making sure that it happened, so they deserve to be recognized as well. So while the design team worked hard to make sure things went well, the big effort, it was led by the contractor, Panko Builders. They, along with their 29 different trade subcontractors that range from roofing, steel, plaster, painting, and so on, put a tremendous amount of effort to make sure that the building was built to the highest quality that is expected and that is of the era. And I think that you can all attest to the fact that they were very successful. In speaking with the structural engineer earlier in the week, I was asking what he was most proud of. And he said to me that what he was most proud is about all of the details and the effort that went in seismically upgrading the building, much of which you won't see today, the amount of technology that had to be built into the project and still make it look like the historic building, the amount of efficiencies that they've created, all are behind the walls. It's a very safe building, and it'll be here for many generations to last. And most importantly, we're proud of the fact that many parts of the building that were once covered are now back to life, that you get to see the wonderful architecture that was designed by the original architect, Arthur Brown, that is in its own splendor and that it looks like it was just built. So many thanks to all of you who participated. We're very proud of the work, and we thank you for your hard efforts.
Now I would like to introduce the commander of the American Legion 8th District and former president of the American Legion War Memorial Commission, Nelson Lum.
Honorable Mayor Lee, members of the Board of Supervisors, state and county officials, Board of Trustee President Bashford, members of the Board of Trustees, fellow veterans, and fellow citizens of this wonderful city of San Francisco. Good morning. My name is Nelson Lum, and I'm the commander of the 8th District Council of the American Legion. On behalf of the San Francisco Post of the American Legion, one of the beneficiaries of the trust under which the War Memorial Complex was created, and many other veterans and veteran organizations, we want to express our appreciation for the undertaking and completing the difficult seismic retrofit and modernization of the Veterans Building. We are well aware of the necessary tasks surrounding the restoration of our historic building to its former glory were extremely challenging. It has been an arduous journey on many levels, but now stands a shining example of what our great city can accomplish. As military veterans who have served our country and in many cases fought her wars, we are honored to be able to occupy the building and share it with the arts community. With the opera's magnificent new performance spaces on the 4th floor and the sunny and flexible new art gallery of the San Francisco Art Commission on the 1st floor, the city's capacity to support the arts has just taken a significant leap. There is also a tremendous amount of enthusiasm within the veterans community for our beautiful new spaces, and we look forward to energizing and strengthening the veterans community. Our membership treasures the concept of service to our country through service to our veterans and the broader community. Thank you.
Our final speaker today is an extraordinary leader and an accomplished veteran, retired Major General J. Michael Myatt. General Myatt served as president of the War Memorial Board of Trustees during the first 2 years of this renovation project. His skills of diplomacy and tact smoothed what was not often an easy road. Along with current President Bashford, he converted the Veterans Memorial in the Memorial Court from a dream to a reality. He has brought much needed stability to this process and without his strong leadership, I'm not sure we would be where we are today. Please welcome former President of the War Memorial Board of Trustees and esteemed veteran Major J. Michael Myatt.
I'm the last speaker, and I promise you I will not speak very long. I guess it's good afternoon now, ladies and gentlemen. Today we rededicate the War Memorial Veterans Building. As it says in the War Memorial Trust Agreement, the Veterans Building is intended to honor the memory of the soldiers, sailors, Marines, and war workers, both men and women, who brought imperishable glory to California by their splendid contributions to winning of the World War. The 1926 groundbreaking, it was held for the War Memorial Complex, and it included a parade from the Ferry Building all the way up to the War Memorial Complex. Then Mayor Roth issued a proclamation and urging all citizens to participate and attend these ceremonies. And then on 11 November, Armistice Day of that year, and more than 50,000 people gathered for the opening ceremonies. The importance of the War Memorial Veterans Building cannot be overstated. This building is an expression of gratitude to all San Francisco veterans for the freedoms they have fought for and protected through their selfless service. As a veteran, I am grateful to the City and County of San Francisco for even constructing this great memorial to our World War I veterans. And I am again grateful to the City and County of San Francisco for restoring and renovating the great building after 85 years, and to honor all the San Francisco veterans and with such details and such care in preserving this veterans building for many generations to come. I'm also grateful to the War Memorial Trustees, the Board of Trustees, for they provided additional funding of $3 million to renovate, upgrade, and modernize the offices of the meeting space for the San Francisco posts of the American Legion and the veterans groups. The Veterans Building was dedicated to honor those who fought and served in World War I. On the 100th anniversary of World War I, we are rededicating this building to the San Francisco and to thank and honor all the San Francisco veterans. Thank you very much.
We're going to proceed now to the ceremony of rededication, and we need our stage crew to make a few quick adjustments, so if you'll give us 30 seconds to do that, then we'll move forward. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yay!